This is the guided reading for 9.4 Carbon Cycle Basics. As you read this guided reading, follow along in your packet on pages 8, 9, and 10. You have a few Frayer models that you're going to fill out. And I want to focus here on the first Frayer model for carbon. You're going to answer the following 4 questions in your Frayer model. So what is it? Where do we find it? What ways that it changes location, and what we call it when it changes location and form. So as you read, you're going to look for the answers to those questions and write them down. So let's start with carbon. Carbon is a very important element on Earth. It is found in most living things. It is part of the atmosphere that allows our Earth to control temperatures. It is needed by plants for photosynthesis. It can be burned to make energy, and it is stored in rocks in the ocean. The amount of carbon on the planet doesn't change, but where the carbon is and what form it is in does change. The change of carbon on the Earth is called the carbon cycle. Some of the carbon will change and move quickly, and others will change and move over a very long period of time. Carbon can change by many processes. Some of them are decomposition, which is things decaying, combustion, respiration, photosynthesis, and ocean uptake. Then as you move on in your packet, I'm going to show you here through the rest of our words. You will be answering the same questions for the rest of the Frayer models. So in the Frayer model, you'll do the definition in your own words, what is happening to carbon during the cycle of decomposition or other things like that, where it happens on Earth, and then pictures of it. So again, for the rest of the words that you're going to be reading about, you'll answer the same questions for those Frayer models. So moving on to decomposition or decaying. Decomposition is when decomposers break down dead material from plants and other organisms. The process of decomposition releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This decomposition can happen anywhere on the Earth that an organism dies. Moving to combustion. Combustion is when any once living material is burned in the presence of oxygen. Combustion gives off carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Some of the once living materials have been alive recently, like trees and grasslands, while some other materials were alive long ago and were buried in the ground. We call those items fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are coal, oil, and natural gas. These fossil fuels are used for transportation, industry, and electricity. Moving on to respiration. Respiration is when living organisms release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. As cells burn food for energy, one of the results is carbon dioxide. When humans exhale, we release carbon dioxide created during this process into the atmosphere. All living organisms respire, including plants. Moving to photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and change it into sugar and oxygen. This oxygen is released into the atmosphere, and the carbon becomes part of the plant. During photosynthesis, carbon is coming out of the atmosphere and becoming part of the plant. On Earth, we see photosynthesis happening with every plant, no matter where it is. Forests are places that can take a lot of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. And then last but not least, water uptake. Water uptake is when fresh or ocean water takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The carbon dioxide is used for plants to photosynthesize or can react with seawater to create carbonic acid. Water uptake can happen in any water body around or in the world. Carbon naturally moves around the world in a balanced way. Unfortunately, human activity has changed that balance, and we are ending up with more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, causing our climate to change.